Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Nacarelli. I'll be reviewing the Aristotle, which is Ethereum's metabolomic test. So this test looks at 126 metabolomic biomarkers. It will profile 68% of known human metabolism, and it will look at various different things such as nutrient and neurotransmitter deficiencies, impact of environmental toxins, and ultimately will provide customized health protocols based on our AI technology. So this test is a finger stick. And so from when we get the results, from when we get your sample, usually within 2 weeks, you'll have your results. And your health report will contain the health scores and will contain the personalized protocols using our digital twinning technology. The graph on the left here is looking at all human metabolism. And so you could see roughly from our metabolomic analysis, we cover roughly 68% of known human metabolism. And on the right is our health domains and the overall health score that we curate from these health domains. We rank them from poor, normative to optimized. And so this is what your main results page will look like on your test. And I'll go over this further in our sample report review. These are all the metabolites that we look at. This includes various different amino acids, fatty acids, sugar molecules, DNA metabolites, some environmental metabolites as well, some nutrients. And so we utilize something called a digital twinning protocol. So for this, we will create a digital replica of the individual based on their intake information and their metabolomic scores. We then have a database of over 1,300 interventions, which include various different dietary, lifestyle, supplement interventions, and some medications. And we will create a personalized protocol that's going to have the most favorable impact on the individual's metabolic health scores. And so we will do that and create a protocol from it. We're doing this simulation thousands of times over, constantly testing to see what protocol is going to have the best effect. And ultimately, we're not doing these protocols to sell supplements. We leave it up to the practitioners to decide which supplements they want to go with. And our protocols work. So what you're seeing here on the left is adherence to our protocols. And you could see this in various different health domains, whether it's liver or cardiovascular or aging. Essentially, the more someone adheres to our protocols, the more likely they are to improve these particular metabolic or metabolomic domains. And so now it's time to review a sample report. This is a review of the Aristotle metabolomics test. This is the very first page. You'll see the collection date and analysis date. As we scroll through the report, this is the main results page. We will see our various health domains here. We have mitochondrial health, inflammatory, nutritional, aging, mutational load, environmental toxin exposure, tegumentary health, neurocognitive, bone health, liver health, reproductive health, and cardiovascular health. These will be ranked in terms of poor in red, normative in yellow, and optimized in green. Each peak represents where the health domain has been scored. And the dashed line is if the individual were to retest, what the expected retest score would be. All of these domains are tally up to create an overall health score. This individual, their health score is 54 out of 100. The rest, or the next section, is looking at the super domains, which is each one of these major domains. So here's the aging index, here's the nutritional index, and you will see the corresponding score for each domain. Below this is the subdomains. And the subdomains are where the metabolites are housed. No metabolite is specific to an individual domain. There's crossover between the domains. And so each superdomain will have various subdomains. So for example, aging, we see energy and core metabolic intermediates, polyamine and cellular maintenance pathways, neurotransmission and signaling molecules, and we see the metabolites that are associated with these subdomains. And depending on how these are scored, will dictate how this subdomain is scored. And ultimately, these in totality are what are affecting the superdomain score. And this will occur for every superdomain. So for nutrition, we have nutrient sensing, lipid and fatty acid metabolism, micronutrient-linked metabolism. So we'll see these ones for inflammation, immunometabolism, viral inflammation, chronic inflammatory diseases, metabolites associated with that. Mitochondrial health is a big section that people are interested in. So we see energy and signaling metabolites, TCA cycle metabolites, membrane and health associated metabolites. So there's dozens of subdomains that will be correlated with each subdomain, or excuse me, superdomain. And so the idea is not to spend too much time. Generally speaking, no one understands, or at least it's rare for practitioners to understand all of these metabolites. Really sticking high level and trying to associate the patient's main concerns and health issues with the superdomains, and then looking to see how these subdomains may be affecting the superdomain. Also, particularly focusing on superdomains that have a low score is also fruitful, because those are the ones that require the most attention. So these are the domains. And below these domains, we also have a methylation index, which is looking at methylation-associated metabolites and how that's affecting someone's ability to methylate efficiently. So we have various metabolites associated with that. We then have our digital twinning protocol section. So with this, we have an intake form that collects information from an individual based on their symptoms, their dietary history, supplements they're taking, and then also we have their metabolite information, and we will group that information together to create a digital copy of that individual. We have a database of over 1,500 interventions. What we will do is expose people to interventions to see how we can favorably shift their health score. And so that is what is used to create protocols for each subdomain. So for example, in aging, we see enhanced core metabolism and efficiency with nicotinamide riboside, 300 milligrams daily. Your low score in energy and core metabolic intermediate suggests inefficiencies of NAD cycling. So the reason why the intervention is being suggested is listed here, as are the interventions. There will be various different supplement interventions, lifestyle interventions, dietary interventions, and in some cases, medication interventions that are recommended. So that is what goes into this personalized supplement protocol. And adherence to this protocol is what the calculated retest score, that is this dashed line up here, is based upon. If someone were to adhere to at least 2/3 of the recommendations, this is what the expected retest score should be, with a general improvement in essentially all health domains. And so, and again, the idea is to focus on what is most clinically relevant health domains for the patients. And these are the ones where you would stick to the interventions most keenly compared to the other domains. And then the most important ones are listed at the top here. So for example, this alpha-ketoglutarate in this person is more important than some of these other interventions here. And so the bulk of a visit going over these results with a patient is spent in the digital twinning protocol section, because this is where you're going to actually be implementing interventions with your patients. At the end of all of this are the metabolites. And so for every metabolite, the score in the relative abundance compared to the low relative abundance and high relative abundance. This is the reference standard. What the metabolite is, the description of it, what are the implications of a low value, and what are the implications of a high value is all listed here for every single metabolite. So if you were curious what those metabolites are in the subdomains, that information is listed here. And that concludes the review of the Aristotle metabolomics test.